Is Playa del Carmen, Mexico safe for tourists? To find out, I stayed at clubs until they kicked me out at 3 in the morning and wandered the streets where I was told not to go. I even managed to get stopped and frisked by the Mexican police. More about that at the end of the video. Since 5th Avenue, or Avenida Quinta, is extremely safe day or night, to go to the dangerous areas, we need to wander more inland, away from the beach. We'll be going all the way up to Avenida 30, where I'm told it's not safe for tourists after that point. The first Avenida is 10. They increase by 5 each time for some reason. It's relatively safe, but with fewer bars and restaurants and less police presence. Also, most of these places don't open until 4 p.m., so if you need to do some day drinking, you want to stay on Avenida Quinta. The real fun begins at Avenida 15, where you get more of a bohemian vibe. There's even a casino here. I even found this American sports bar here called Three Amigos Sports Bar. It's actually really nice. I enjoyed being able to sit on the sidewalk, and there were some cool American folks here. Definitely give this place a try on your next trip to Playa. There are also a bunch of open-air plazas around here on 15th Avenue. At nighttime, looks like they set up and they have different shops and merchants selling a bunch of random stuff. Some people were playing sports there as well, and there's this random statue here with a bunch of shirtless guys in a boat. Not really sure what's going on there. But you can see a lot of locals are just chilling out here like they would in any major city. 15th is also where Palacio Municipal begins, which has this huge amphitheater-like park, which serves as a dog park during the daytime, I guess. And they probably have performances here at night. 20th Avenue is when I started getting sketched out and started getting reminders of my roots from New York, where you see people passed out high out of their minds on the sidewalk on a daily basis. At nighttime, not much is open. This was like 7 p.m. You can see their hours are from 10 to 6, so they probably serve mostly the lunch crowd. The one bar that was open over there with the lights had ridiculous pricing for its location. Don't think you're going to get a discount here. The prices were just as bad as Avenida Quinta. And I kept seeing these old beat-up Volkswagen Beetles from like the 70s with rust all over the place. But hey, if you're into classic cars, this may be your vibe. 25th is about the same. There's not much going on here. I did hear there are some gentlemen's clubs from other tourists if you're into that around this area. Just be careful. And this big street here is 30th Avenue, where it's not safe to go beyond. Most of the big American fast food places are here, like Pizza Hut and KFC, which is a bit ironic since this place is basically all locals. But as you can see, it's pretty well kept and looks like any other major city in the US. I mean, frankly, this place right here looks much safer than my time in New York. And down the street are some brand new construction projects like banks and buildings like you'd find in any first world city. It's only dangerous if you make it dangerous. If you go get too drunk at a bar and pick a fight with someone, you're gonna have a bad time. Random acts of violence still do occur here, but from what I've heard, it's always targeted and cartel related. And you're not going to get kidnapped because all these taxi cabs are clearly labeled and regulated. These here are colectivos. I've never taken one personally, I just walk all over the place, but here's what they look like in case you're wondering. And I even saw signs in English here on 30th Avenue. So I felt completely safe here. I just would not go here very late at night. If you want to do that, head to Avenida Quinta, where you have a dozen different nightclubs to choose from, which are pretty safe. They all have metal detectors you need to pass through to enter. But as with anything involving men, women, and alcohol, fights still will occasionally break out. Also, look out for pickpockets. Most of these clubs don't have a cover, so anyone can just walk in and try to steal stuff. So these places shut down at around 2 a.m., and then the cops are here and try to shuffle all these drunk people home. But I wanted to stay out later to see how sketchy it gets, so I found the Dirty Martini Bar right around the corner by the nightclubs. While they did kick me out at 2 a.m., this nice lady here gave me a tip that there's a bar right around the corner that stays open until 3. And this was a very fun crowd. I talked to a lot of people here and had a great time until 3 in the morning when I was kicked out. That's when what I call after hours start. People are getting kicked out of these clubs, and if something dangerous is going to happen, it's going to happen around this time. And I wanted to find out, so I followed where the crowd was going, and they led me back to 10th Avenue. But not for drinks, they were just getting food. They're actually not allowed to sell alcohol after 3 a.m. People asked so much they put up this sign at this restaurant. It's now 3:30 in the morning, and there are still some people just wandering around the streets aimlessly. Also, these security guards stay at these clubs like overnight to make sure nothing serious happens, so it's still relatively safe here, I would say. Much safer than New York City. And these ladies of the evening are just standing around looking for something to do. And by this point, I've personally had enough, so I started heading back to my hotel, but on a very empty Avenida Quinta. So it's now roughly 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just walking alone, and then I see this cop car, and I take out my phone to film it for this video. Apparently, the Mexican police don't like that very much. So they pull up to me, roll down the window, ask me to delete the video, and then ask if I have any drugs on me. They then proceed to pat me down and go through all my belongings, finding nothing, of course, and then they tell me to have a nice day. And by the way, I'm still holding my beer the whole time this is happening. And this happened to me in Tulum as well when I was wandering the streets alone at 3 in the morning. If a cop sees you at that hour by yourself or maybe with a small group of people, they'll probably stop and ask you what you're doing. I don't mind this policy personally, but I did get a little bit scared last night because I didn't understand the woman exactly, so I thought maybe I was in trouble for an open container. So just understand that's the price of safety here in Playa del Carmen, is you may be randomly stopped and frisked at any time. But I think it's a small price to pay for the relative safety I feel here in Playa del Carmen. Just use your common sense as you would in the United States and nothing bad is going to happen here. There are no random kidnappings or other activities that you hear about in the news. Thanks so much for watching, and check out this next video on my Playa del Carmen bar crawl for my top picks of places to go. Like and subscribe for more.